That's not satanic, guys. I know you're like, oh, look, he's throwing up the... Come on, bro. See that ring? That's a cross. I wear it for that reason. I wear it this way for that reason. I mean, that's Poseidon, Trident, but it's a rep. See what I'm saying? But anyway, on that note, I'm probably gonna get a copyright strike for this video. But I want to talk about faith. Faith and manifestation, you know. The Bible is very big on faith, like, ask and you shall be given, right? Knock, the door shall be open for you, whatever, stuff like that, right? Faith the size of a mustard seed, is supposed to be able to move mountains, right? But what is faith? I remember when Jesus would go around and heal people, he would first ask them, he'd say, do you believe you'll be healed? And it wasn't until they said, yes, I believe, and they truly believed it, that he said, so be it, it is done. And that is very akin to the placebo effect. Yes, I fully believe I'll be healed. Yes, I believe you, Jesus Christ, can heal me. And whenever they believe that they'll be healed by touching Christ's foot or whatever, because they believed it so deeply in their head, they literally manifested that transformation inside of themselves. Said, yes, I believe I'll be healed. Just like you take a fake pill. Yes, I believe this pill will heal me. Yes, I believe. And I'm not saying Jesus didn't have any, ability, but I think a big part of it was him triggering their own belief in things. This song's kind of emo. Should I leave it? Be still. It's a good album though. Killers, Battleborn. But no, yeah. So Christ basically, I want to say it was entirely, but it was kind of like a Jedi mind trick. Do you believe you'll be healed? Yes, I believe, and he could tell they believed it because he's making that impression that he's the fucking And don't get me wrong, he might have supernatural powers. I don't know, but I do see what he was doing was transforming the inner belief scenario of the people who wanted to be healed. He said, do you truly believe that you'll be healed if you touch my foot or whatever? He said, and they say, I believe. He said, so be it, it's done. And it's just whatever. It's what do they call that? I mean, it's like a I don't know. Okay, it sounds too emo, bro. Hold on. Messing up my vibe a little bit. But I don't know. It's almost like hyping up a little kid. Like I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. People can do things when they. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah. So right there, Christ. Do you believe you'll be healed? Yes, I believe it. And then boom, they become healed. It's placebo. You take this pill. You tell somebody this pill heals you. They're like, okay, cool, believe it totally, because they believe in pharmakia or whatever. And that goes into magic and stuff. That's a term for that from back in the day. But yes, I believe it. Awesome. They don't even question it. They're just like, oh, doctors know what they're talking about. Science. They're scientists. They know stuff. Blah blah blah. So they take it and they believe it'll be healed. It's a fucking sugar pill. Has no actual chemical function. And they believe it, and boom, they're healed. Symptoms clear because they believed it. Because that's mind over matter. That's internal. That's as above, so below. As above would be like the spiritual, but it's really like as within, so without. Like within, what does Christ say also? The kingdom of heaven is within. The spiritual plane is something that you experience within. And, as above, I mean, it's, it's all, but it's energy and it's spirit and it's, the conscious God mind that flows through everything, the essence, the breath of life that flows through everything. And so when you're working with that energy, and there's arrangements in that too. It's I call it like energy gradients. There's information, and that's ironic because it's like information. And so the energy that's ingrained with information is actually what guides transformation. So it's in formation. It precipitates physical manifestation, physical transformation. And that goes into alchemy, spiritual alchemy, stuff like that. I mean, I remember I read a book a while back. I remember I was going to study chemistry. I went to the library, and it was like a chemistry book, but right next to it was a book about alchemy. And it was like Alchemy for Dummies. And I'm like, dude, that was a good book. Whoever wrote that, it was like very thorough. Like that guy knew what he was talking about. I know it's Alchemy for Dummies, so it's like a franchise book thing, but it was like, dude, like he was putting it out there, but he called it the science of transformation. And a lot of the, Philosopher's Stone is like, in my opinion, the way it was described, and I've read a lot of other stuff, Hermetic things and blah, 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 Emerald tablets, you name it. But the Philosopher's Stone would be like the ability to reach into that belief core and use it to create that information that is able to transform the energetic state, which precipitates the physical state after, and that's how it goes. Because if you understand transmutation of anything, literally over a long period of time, there's just like corrosion, there's oxidation, and there's energies. You can add electricity to something to expedite corrosion and oxidation and stuff like that. I mean, so these energies flow through material and facilitate like transformations of that material from one state to another. And it you can say it kind of like saturates everything. I mean, everything is in an ocean of energy. It's and that's what I call like the God mind, ocean of energy, consciousness. So who said, I think it was Niels Bohr, he said, after studying chemistry for so long, he feels like the foundational substance is consciousness, and it's like that's the God energy and everything I'm talking about. So the Philosopher's Stone is being able to within yourself access that belief energy, if you want to call it that. It's not even belief though. As at a certain point, if you like really get good at this, and this is actually, I'm not trying to boast, but I've done this for a while, and it's almost like you coordinate what I call your energy body. So you have a physical body. If you become good with your physical body, you can throw a tennis ball, hit a target on point, easy. But if you get good with your energy body, which a lot of people don't even know they have, you can use your energy to project things, and literally, it's almost like it's literally physics. And I remember, I think it was Bob Proctor in the movie The Secret. He's like, we don't know how it works, but it works. It's physics. The law of attraction is physics. And it is, because it's literal, like cause and effect, and you can watch it and do it over and over repeatedly, and then you eventually coordinate the cause and effect function so concisely that it's like, it's not even belief anymore. It's knowing, and that might be gnosis, GNOSIS version of like energy. And gnosis is the knowing of all of this. People talk about the third eye, whatever, open, being spiritually aware. That's what I call it. But when you coordinate your energy body, it's like it's cause and effect, bro. It's like you realize a lot of people talk about simulation theory, and the universe is a simulation. I think a lot of people imply that it's like was programmed from the beginning, which I don't know. But I see it as a simulation, as in this is like a world with a law, the laws of physics, and it's concise. It's very concise. So as much as you call it a simulation, in my mind, to the degree that you can alter things, you can play with this clockwork, what I'm saying? You can press the buttons, and if you understand cause and effect, and you're coordinated like that to a high degree, it's not even, it's like, it's a system. And that's really what it is. I mean, I have this whole, but I'm saying this shit like casually, but it's like, how long I've thought about this stuff. I've been a thinker for so long, but no, I mean, knowledge is an understanding of systems. The universe is a giant dynamic system. Knowledge is the understanding of how those systems work, and applying knowledge is working that system, any system, to get desired results. That's all it is. Knowledge is just understanding a fucking system. That's all it is. And the universe is a giant fucking system. It's cause and effect, whatever. And so if you have knowledge gnosis, I guess, it's like you understand like the energetic workings of this shit. And it's like cause and effect is like, it's, to me, honestly, I'm just gonna keep it real. It's like second nature. It's like, dude, and this is gonna sound funny. Y'all gonna think I'm lying, but when I first like discovered this shit, and I realized a lot of people were not spiritually aware, like I said, they're not adept or whatever. I was like pressing buttons energetically and causing outcomes, and people were just blind to it, bro. And at some point, I literally sat there and I was like, it feels like I'm cheating, bro. It felt like I was like I'm gonna get found out and people are gonna be mad. They're gonna think I'm a witch or something. But it was just like, I just figured it out. I figured out that cause and effect function with energy and everything. And I started to think it was weird for a second, because I'm like, damn, I'm like doing stuff and people are oblivious to it. I'm like, is this like bad? Is this like black, dark magic or something? I was like, what am I doing? And eventually I came across like Native Americans talking about, being able to communicate with nature. And they're talking about the same thing. It's a communal relationship, energetically, spiritually, with nature and the universe and everything. Native Americans were talking about it, and there was no dark energy around that. I think the reason a lot of esoteric teachers or like writings, whatever, or even occult stuff was like, it has like a dark aura, is because there was Christian oppression and, organized religious oppression. But that's what I'm saying. I started with Jesus, and Jesus was teaching people how to work miracles. And he said, you'll do the things I've done and more, like he's teaching people like, this is how this stuff works, man. The kingdom of heaven is within, and he's trying to tell you, go to that gnosis, I think, in my opinion, go to that gnosis, go to that point, that philosopher's stone of knowledge of self, and but how you're a part of this dynamic system we call the universe. And that's where you unlock it all. And then you're like, cool, and now you're fucking spiritually aligned, you're coordinated with your spiritual body, and you can, it's like cause and effect. It's literal law of physics, bro. That's what like Bob Proctor was saying. It's law, bro. It's not like, yeah. And a lot of physicists are figuring out now with like quantum physics and stuff. And I think it was Niels Bohr that said, yeah, he thinks consciousness is the foundational substance. One of my favorite people is Walter Russell, bro. I don't even understand all his stuff, but I think he figured out some, like, he really got it, because he was like, yeah, it's common sense, duh, like, look at it, it's so easy. I still can't comprehend some of his diagrams and stuff. I'm just like, I think he went to a different level. But he was friends with Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla, he said, like, he deduced that there's some like cosmic energy that he is channeling, and and he uses that to for his own, to drive his own physical mechanical machinery that he creates, and his own body and stuff. And but he was tapping into that type of stuff, energy and everything. I think Nikola Tesla was very connected, and that's the thing. I mean, when you really understand this stuff too, people talk about astral traveling, remote viewing, remote influencing is something I'm kind of into. But yeah, you open up the spiritual doors, and I know that sounds bad, because it's like people are like, oh, that's where the juju gets in. It's like, I think there's like the Native American said, it's like you just can communicate with nature and stuff, and it's like we have spirit, and if you can go out into nature, I remember there was a meme that somebody made. And they said, you go to a church to worship your God. We go outdoors, and God is here with us. You know what I mean? And I was like, dude, like, I kind of get what they're saying. Like, God is present in everything. And that's where you communicate with God. And, in esoteric form, man, people started mowing their lawn back here. Whatever they're doing, hedge clippers. Great timing. But that's another thing. I can explain that. That's a weird thing, but I can sometimes like create such a calm and like smooth energy that people like, oh, things feel good, and they get all active, and then they fuck up the fucking peace that I created. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a reason I don't like to be around people too much. I like to be remote. So whenever I create peace, it lasts, because if I create peace, everybody's like, it's awfully quiet and peaceful. I feel like we need to fill this void of sound with something. And bro, yeah, those are, no offense, but I call those like crude people. kind of, and then, for lack of their understanding of the spiritual stuff, call them like spiritual infants. That's the way I say it. But I'm just going off the top right here. This is, what do they call this? Just flow of thought type shit. But this type of shit I could talk about. I could talk about anything for hours. Because you know why? Because I'm connected. It flows. It's just knowledge, gnosis. Like, how do you know things? I'm just connected, bro. I just know. But anyway, now I studied this shit a long time, and I think probably when I was like 19, I kind of had like a spiritual awakening, you might call it. But yeah, I think it was Nels Bohr said, foundational substance. He thought it was consciousness, and it's that God energy. I call it the God mind, and I feel like that's like the matrix of this universe. It's the underlying like informational matrix. Is the God mind that some people talk about the Akashic records and stuff, but it's like I just call it the God mind. That is like, I feel like this is a simulation of the God mind, whatever cosmic creator, this greater consciousness. It's just like, this is a God dream. Kanye said that shit, right? But then we're like these individual nodes of consciousness that also help like render and guide transformation and stuff. And I feel like that's kind of the point of consciousness, because you look at evolution and also I think it traverses time, and I think actually CIA has said that. So I think the fact that we can go back in time and look at like evolution in our mind's eye or whatnot, we might actually from the future be facilitating the transformation from nothing into ourselves, and it's like it's a self-fulfilling thing, and it's like, yeah, that's where shit gets weird, bro, because it's like they've done experiments where it's like, yeah, like you'll have, I don't know, there's like reactions and stuff like before there's even a stimuli. That's like you can sense the future, like people, like they've done experiments with this. But I mean, what do they call it? Mystics. I guess I'm talking about, mystic shit. I guess I'm a mystic. It's like they've understood this shit for a long time intuitively, and they've written it down, and they got their books about it and whatever, and that they had to hide from the organized religious, factions, and so people have been talking about it for a long time. There's probably a lot of stuff burned in the Library of Alexandria or whatnot. And really, if you go back, way back, people had the clarity. Today the world is so hustle bustle and distracted. A lot of people don't have the clarity to reach gnosis, I guess, as easily. I mean, maybe, I don't know. And I've personally, I've tried to create like a nice homeostasis, because I know I can like affect things like that, so that people can have that emotional balance to reach gnosis, spiritual clarity, and like, evolve, with all this. And I guess I'm explaining it, explicitly here. But I think that's kind of the point of life, of evolution. We evolve into these we're conscious beings that are able to help render and guide transformation of the universe. I call it like a blossoming universe, and we're like these, I guess, gardeners that are here to maintain and facilitate the blossoming of this cosmic garden, that's blooming with life. We're the fucking gardeners. We're like, oh, because we take care of ourselves and we value life in that way, and we're trying to go multi-planetary, this and that, and we understand the value of it, of consciousness and everything. So we're like cultivating ourselves. You see what I'm saying? But what's the value of ourselves is that we're these cultivators. We're like self-manifesting more of ourselves, more life, and it's like the universe is coming into these conscious nodes that we call living organisms ourselves, and we are the universe that is, I guess, fractionating into these conscious nodes that are able to render at higher and higher degrees of fidelity or whatnot. And it's like, that's what we're doing, bro. That's like, I guess the universe, like some fractal thing that's, I don't know, just, I don't know. I know I'm going off. I know this is fucking, what do you call it, flow of consciousness type shit. But so yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. I really was gonna talk about the faith and manifestation, but it's all the same, in the same vein, because it's all like an energetic. It's the God mind energetic framework that we're participating in. And you're gonna hate me for saying this one, and I don't know a lot about this guy, but he said that everybody is practicing magic, whether they know it or not. And I'm not even gonna tell you that quote's from, but he gets a bad rap. I don't know. He might be a weirdo. I don't fucking know. But I was like, that's a pretty good quote, because we are participating energetically with, everything, with our emotions. And if you become aware of that, you can control that function and intentionally cause outcomes. But if you're just a spiritual infant and you're ignorant of that, you can actually have your energy hijacked to facilitate outcomes for others. And that goes into like weird stuff that I don't really believe in. I believe in the individual gaining, I guess, gnosis and that knowledge of self to the degree that they can facilitate the spiritual function to create positive outcomes for themselves, and in general, So yeah, that's why I'm explaining this, because I think that's an important thing. How did I just go off like that? See, this is just flow, bro. Just took a shower, I feel good, energy, so I don't know what it is, bro. But with that being said, man, I don't know. I just felt like that's something to talk about, I guess I was thinking about faith in the Christian context, and I've understood that for a while. That's like kind of a law of attraction type thing. But it's energy, and the energy predicates the transition in the physical. Energy is, I'm telling you, energy, the faith the size of a mustard seed, being able to move a mountain, that faith, that energy is so powerful, it penetrates everything. I'm telling you, it is omnipresent. It's already penetrating everything, and it's so powerful. It's like it can break up anything. I'm not even trying to be funny, I'm not even trying to say this because I really don't want to but dude, you can project energy into the motherfucking center of the galaxy and probably cause it to fucking destabilize and do something crazy. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I like this. I don't even want to say too many things. I don't want to go crazy. But yeah, I think stuff like that is possible. Like, for real. And you're probably gonna think I'm crazy saying this, but I've experimented with it. You're seeing cloud busters, who will like sit there and like there's a cloudy sky and they'll just like meditate and they'll just fucking sky will clear. Bro, I've practiced stuff like that. I've done things with, you're gonna think I'm crazy if I say it, but no, other weather anomalies, let's just put it that way. Kind of bigger ones. Like, you're gonna think I'm crazy if I keep saying it, but bro, I'm telling you, bro, when you understand the spiritual function, faith the size of a mustard seed, bro, it's not even like that. It's just knowledge, it's gnosis, it's understanding cause and effect of this dynamic system of the universe. Knowledge is an understanding of how the system functions. That's it. And when you understand that, when you have that gnosis or whatever, when you have that knowledge for real, it's like, bro, you can for real hack reality, bro. I'm not joking with you, because the energy is the base. It's the source code or whatever you want to call it. It's the that's what I said. It's like a God mind, and it's like a simulation of but it's like there's information and like energy gradients that are present in everything, and they are present in whatever that gradient is. It's almost like an incentive system, but it's not really. It's just like an energy gradient. So whatever it facilitates outcomes. And so if you know how to hack that and meditate, and that's what I was gonna say. The esoteric form of meditation is not, a lot of people think meditation is calming your fucking mind. No, that's step one. Step one is calming your mind so you can read and sense the energies. Step two is interacting with those energies. That's the real meditation. That's fucking esoteric meditation. That's kind of what the Native Americans were saying, communicating with nature, blah, blah, blah. And when you understand that level, your spiritual connection and relationship with nature, and I think that's why, and I've made a video talking about this in the past, but I think that's why America was so beautiful when people came, because the Native Americans knew how to communicate and condition all of the freaking nature in America. So it was freaking gorgeous, because the Native Americans spiritually set it up that way before the freaking Europeans came and invaded, right? And it's still, and that's what I'm saying. This is a conscious facilitation I'm talking about. And that's like what I feel like the purpose of consciousness is, to facilitate that type of transformation and to make things more beautiful, to create and blah, 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 so on and so forth. But, and cultivate, whatever. But yeah, when you understand the spiritual function, its energy and everything, bro, you're playing with the source material, bro. Like I'm telling you, you are like hacking reality, if you want to call it that. And I remember, I think I'm funny saying this. I remember when I was probably 19. This was what, like 2008. And bro, I'm not even trying to be funny, bro. I felt like I was Neo from the Matrix. I'm like, dude, I'm hacking reality. I'm hacking up, And I was like, what the heck? Because I had never heard nothing like that. I was just doing it. I learned this naturally, kind of. And that's an interesting story. But eventually I started coming across some like esoteric teachings where they're like talking about this stuff from way back, like Egypt and stuff. And they're talking about third eye. And I'm like, okay. So people have understood this for a while. That's when I discovered mysticism. And I was like, okay. Thank goodness, because I thought I was like the first to discover some like how to hack reality. Like I was like, what the fuck? Am I some like alien fucking like? I thought I was like some next level of evolution or something. I kind of, I think that might actually be true to some degree. Just in general, I think that is like our evolutionary trajectory. Is people understanding this, and this is why I explain this stuff, and this is why I try to help facilitate people just naturally come to, like I said, I try to stabilize things so people could have that clarity to connect with their higher selves, and you see what I'm saying? Higher selves. I mean, that's another concept. It's all spiritual though. It's energy. A lot of people don't even know they have an energy body. They don't even. It's like, bro, they're spiritually blind, spiritual infants. Like, bro, I'm like a fucking spiritual. I think I'm like probably like a spiritual teenager. I don't know, because I think there's a lot more for me to learn, if I'm being real. But yeah, probably somewhere like that, And, but at least I get the general principles, and that's why I'm feeling it. I'm like, whatever, And I remember this. I started thinking about it probably when I was like in my early 20s. I'm like, I don't know how long I'll be around. Like, how long do I have to teach people these things? And so I was like, because it might be important. I might actually understand a lot of things that other people don't know. So I'm like, fuck it. Let's try to help people get this shit. So I started, trying to teach and helping facilitate their natural. It's almost like a little kid. Like if you explicitly tell them this, and this, sometimes they don't listen. But if you allow them to discover it themselves by low-key guiding their development in that direction, they're like, oh, look, I discovered it. And they're so much more receptive to it. So I was like, okay, let me help try to guide people toward gnosis, And they have no idea. Like, I'm telling you, like, and I've seen it, a lot of people get arrogant, so enthused with themselves. They're like, oh, I'm so, it's crazy. It's fine. It's like spiritual infant, little kid shit. But yeah. So I've been doing shit for a while. I don't know. And I don't know why I just felt compelled to talk about that. I just felt compelled to talk about spiritual. Well, really, it was like the faith, the connection of like the Christian concept of faith and a lot of I guess like manifestation, law of attraction type stuff, but it's all in the same vein. It's all energy, work. It's what we got going on, bro. The mystics have been known, bro. The mystics have fucking been known. You see what I'm saying? This is really what it comes down to, bro. Mystics have fucking been knowing. Jesus, fucking mystic, fucking Michael Jordan of mystics, bro. What am I talking about? I'm sorry, I'm crazy, but bro, you see what I'm saying? But yeah, mystics have been known. There's a spiritual aspect of life that I hate to say it, but so much of the Western world, especially, and I think that was on purpose. I think like a lot of people say like Christianity is like two ways to interpret it, like the literal interpretation and then the Gnostic interpretation. And like the Gnostic is for those that have eyes to see, and bro, I think it's set up that way because like, I don't know, like I think they want to keep certain knowledge, like the I guess the organizers of religion want to have that as like a filter, and only like certain people that I guess have the natural predisposition to come to understand these things, will. Because I can explain this shit, and there's people like will listen to this whole fucking video and they'll be like, bro, this dude is crazy. And then there's people that, oh yeah, bro, like yeah, I've been knowing this shit since I was fucking 5-year-old, like I'm telling you, there are spiritually blind people, bro, like straight up. They have no concept of higher self, energy, and like they literally do not fucking understand it. No sense of it at all. It's fucking crazy. To me, it's crazy. But they believe so hard in the physical and like Western medicine and everything. But like the Eastern people, they understand chi. I mean, let me go back into that. Vril, prana, spirit. I don't know. You can call it 1,000 different things, but at least they have a concept of energy. You know, like the Chinese people, they have meridians, and there's what do they call that shit? The fucking, what's that shit? I don't forget what the fuck it's called, but you know, I don't even subscribe. I just understand energy in general. But yeah, at least they have a concept of chi and energy flow, and you know, they're not just like crude physical material people, you know, that completely discount the role of energy in fucking everything, bro. Like, why do certain things succeed and other things fail? Because the energy is correct and it facilitates one or the other. It's like, it's crazy how you have to be so spiritually blind, so crude and dumb, in my opinion, to discount that, to just ignore that. I'm like, dude, y'all are fucking like I'm gonna chill. But yeah, that shit trips me the fuck out whenever I see people that just do not get it. Like, you are the essence of it all, bro. That's what this is the essence of it all. And the mystics have understood, bro. And there's people, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Okay, that was a good rant. I liked it. Okay, I hope I don't get a copyright strike. I hope it lets me continue to play my shit on YouTube or whatever. But I was jamming out and I was kind of feeling that too at the beginning, so had to let it ride. So whatever. But I think that's a good little rant. You know, whatever, flow of consciousness. It's not even flow. Like, that's a weird term. It felt weird to even say. No, just flow of thought, bro. I'm not just like channeling. No, I'm conscious of what the fuck I'm saying. But you know, yeah, I could just go off. You know, so. Yeah, I'm connected, bro. I'm spiritually connected, bro. Is what it is. That's why I can do this shit all fucking day. I could do a live stream for like 24 fucking hours, probably talking about this or that or whatever the fuck. I should probably start doing it, huh? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, well, with that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that. I got things to do. God bless. Peace.